Hey, this is Jeff Loomis from Arch Enemy, and you are watching Metal Master Kingdom.
Hello people, it's Alex from Metal Master Kingdom. We are at Rebel tonight for the Swedish Invasion Tour featuring Amon Amarth, Arch Enemy, At the Gates, and Grand Magus. And I have the great pleasure of being joined by one of the virtuosos of guitar, Mr. Jeff Loomis.
Hello.
Jeff,
Nice to see you.
good to see you too.
Yeah, good to be here.
Welcome back to Toronto.
Thank you very much.
So you're currently, I would say, maybe halfway through your tour with Amon Amarth.
Yeah.
How's it been going?
It's been going great, man. Everybody's getting along just fine. It's a really cool package, of course.
Yep.
You know, the shows have been going wonderfully. Yeah, we're having a great time out here.
Nice. And from the social media posts that the bands have been posting, it looks like full houses every night.
Almost every night is a full house, yeah.
Well,
So we couldn't be luckier, you know.
That's always good.
It's
Always
great.
good to see. So, what going back to the beginning of your musical journey, when did you start playing guitar, and how did you get into it?
I started playing at a pretty young age. I started off on drums, believe it or not. My dad was like an avid record collector, so he always had music playing around the house. So he always had me listening to some really cool music. Like I grew up with bands like Queen and ELO, a lot of 70s bands like that, Fleetwood Mac. And I showed interest in music at a very early age, and he bought me a drum set, like a 3-piece drum set when I was about 9 or 10. And I just kind of became quickly bored with that. It kind of gave me a good sense of rhythm and how to know how music works and all that. But eventually I had found a classical guitar in the closet that he had, grabbed that, and just kind of found that was my thing. You know, that I kind of fell in love with it, actually. So started taking a few lessons, but I mean, honestly, most of the stuff that I learned throughout my youth was picked up by learning by ear. Yeah, I just was blessed with having like a pretty good ear, so I could listen to something or see a commercial on TV or hear a piece of music or something like that and quickly pick up on it, and that's been very helpful for me in my journey with music through my whole life.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So you took a few lessons, but for the most part, you were self-taught.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's a lot of musicians out there that are like at a really high caliber of playing, but when you talk to them and you talk about how they got into it or how they learned, they say, "Oh, I'm self-taught," and you wonder. It blows your mind sometimes.
It does. It really does.
A good example is I heard it's Charlie Benante from Anthrax.
Oh, okay.
He took
Self-taught guy.
he took a few lessons, but I learned that he learned by ear for most of the time and learned how to play from listening to the records.
Yeah, man.
So that's awesome.
A lot of people just have that cool talent, you know, and it's. I think it was another thing too. Where I was kind of shy as a kid too. I was always never wanting to you know, go out and, you know, meet a lot of people and stuff. So I just, you know, woodshedded in the bedroom, just worked on riffs and, you know, guitar players like Yngwie Malmsteen, of course, was a huge influence growing up, and just kind of learned a few of his ideas and kind of turned them into my own.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was always composing music too when I was a kid, you know. Had like a little 4-track and always kind of came up with my own melodies and played with other musicians. That's really important. You know, you see a lot of kids nowadays that sit in their bedrooms and film themselves and throw YouTube videos up, which is cool, but in reality, you know, sometime along your career you're going to end up on a stage, and that's good to get involved with other musicians and get thrown on a stage and play in front of people. You know, that's important, and I think that's important.
And you also learn a lot that way as well by playing with people.
Exactly, you really do. Kind of a way of communicating musically through others. You know?
Absolutely. So, now, this question might be more of a question for like Michael or Daniel, or even Charlie. But 2021, we'll see the 20th anniversary of Wages of Sin. Now, it's still 2 years away, but do you think you guys might do something special, like a show or a tour, to play more songs or the entire record?
There's been talks of it, you know. I mean, that was a really important album in Arch Enemy's time, of course. You know, it was Angela's first album, and you know, I would imagine maybe there's going to be something cool done. I don't know any details or logistics of that right now, but I would imagine something special will probably be done.
So there's talk at least.
There's talk at least.
Because I think that'll be a cool thing for the fans. So.
Yeah, we'll see. It may happen and it may not, but I think it would be cool because you know, I'm you know, obviously I come from the band Nevermore, but I'm a huge Arch Enemy fan, and it's an honor to be in this band. So that would be really cool to see something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And speaking about Nevermore, the band ended like about maybe 8 years ago, and obviously before Worrell sadly passed away, he said that there was a reunion almost happened, but it couldn't.
Yeah.
But now that he's gone, do you think it's like just best to be left in the dust, or do you think you may do something like a celebration
Well,
of playing
I mean,
those old songs again?
it's one of those things where I think Nevermore had such a special sound, and it was simply because of, all the musicians that were in that at the time. Van, me, Worrell, Jim. We had numerous different guitarists in the band throughout
You
the
had Chris
years.
Broderick at one point.
We had Chris Broderick. We had Tim Calvert, who sadly passed away. A lot of good players. Steve Smythe, Curran Murphy. Like all these guys were a part of Nevermore in the past. But honestly, in my vision, it's important that you move on in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I really would like to remember the spirit and the attitude that we had as a band with the music. You know what I mean? And just kind of move on from there.
Yeah.
Because without Worrell, it's just not feasible in my mind. But sadly missed. He's one of my best friends, and things like that happen, and it's a very sad situation. It really was.
Yeah.
But we have the music to remember all that.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Worrell. We miss
Yeah.
you. Real quick, staying on the topic of Worrell. Talk about your time in Sanctuary. Like, how long were you there?
I was in Sanctuary for a very short time. I initially got the audition to come out to Seattle back in '91, in April of '91, and at that time the Seattle sound was just exploding. Like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and the grunge movement, and Lenny, the other main songwriter in Sanctuary, really wanted to go for more of that style, I think, and kind of move away from the metal sound that Sanctuary had with Refuge Denied and Into the Mirror Black. So I came in, we were almost about to do a third album. We ended up doing one show. I did one show with Sanctuary back in '91, and then the band broke up. There was like a little argument about what direction the music was going to go in, and Lenny and Dave went one way, and me and Worrell and Jim went the other way. And we decided to stay, with our roots, with the metal thing. And 3 years later, we got signed to Century Media with our self-titled release, Nevermore, and the rest is history, really, from there.
You put out like Dreaming Neon Black and
lots of albums. I mean, I think that we really kind of found our sound in 2000 with Dead Art and A Dead World, which was our kind of our turning point, where we ended up touring almost 3 years on that album. And then, after that, Enemies of Reality and Godless Endeavor were some of my favorites as well. So lots of good times, lots of good memories, but, like I said earlier, you have to move on in your life and do other stuff. And now I'm focusing on Arch Enemy and my solo career as an instrumental artist, and here we are now.
So, now, if you were going to form a supergroup with you on guitar, who would round out that lineup on drums, bass, and vocals? And they can be alive or dead.
Well, I really like the drummer from Sepultura, Eloy Casagrande.
Yeah,
that guy is like, when I see that guy hit a drum or just his drum kit, he's like just a monster. And he's got such an incredible sense of rhythm, and the way he plays is just I don't know, it's just so amazing. It blows my mind. I mean, I mentioned to you before that I started off playing drums. I still enjoy watching drummers play, even sometimes more so than guitar players, because it's just such a, an attitude, and I love that. So definitely him on drums.
Cool.
Bass, gosh, I don't know. Probably Billy Sheep.
I was just thinking that. That's
He's
so
like
funny.
just a monster, He's so legendary, and he's just he's a phenomenal player. I'd love to play.
And he's another guy that's self-taught.
Is he really?
I
Wow,
actually
it doesn't sound like it.
I talked to him about over a year ago. We interviewed him, and he was self-taught, but he only had like 1 or 2 lessons from what he told me. He just learned like notes, and that's all he. That's all he did.
Another great musician out there. That's just so much fun to watch and hear.
And who on vocals?
On vocals, that's a hard one. Gosh, who would round that off really well? I'd have to say, going back to like when I first heard my very first metal album, Peace of Mind. Maybe Bruce Dickinson.
Bruce.
Yeah, because he's just got such a great voice, and his projection and his just the way he sings and presents himself is just
absolutely.
He's one of the leading frontmen in the world.
Did you see their latest tour?
I saw them 2 years ago in Germany. This tour's been going on how long now? Like 2 or 3?
Since last year.
Okay, yeah. So I think it was last year early last year that I saw them in Germany outside at a festival and enjoyed it very much.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still killing it to this day.
A lot of old classics that I haven't played in a long time.
Bruce was like running back and forth on stage.
Yeah.
Guy's got so much energy, man. It's killer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now something I like to do right now is a little bit of a fun thing. I've never done it in any interview in the past, but a little game of Would You Rather.
Okay.
So, would you rather have a stormtrooper blaster or a lightsaber?
A lightsaber. Yeah.
Would you rather always be tired or always be hungry?
Tired. Because I like to be hungry and I like to eat. So.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah, come on.
So, would you rather live in extreme heat or extreme cold?
That's a good question. I grew up in Wisconsin, so I'm so used to the cold and the four seasons. So I don't mind the cold. I'd say the cold, actually. I like the fall and I like the winter. It gives me inspiration for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Would you rather be able to read minds or predict the future?
Read minds.
See what they're actually thinking about you at the current moment.
Yeah. I think I'm an asshole. I wonder if he does.
Would you rather be attacked by a swarm of dogs or a swarm of birds?
Birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little less harmless.
I was
right?
attacked by dogs as a child.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. Traumatic experience for Loomis.
Yeah. Would you rather go on stage in a tuxedo or a clown outfit?
A tuxedo. Why not?
Look good on stage.
Yeah, right?
Impress the ladies?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, would you rather have super sensitive taste or super sensitive hearing?
Taste, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and last one. Would you rather trade places with Olavi and Amon Amarth, or what's the name of the guy from At the Gates?
His name is his
The
last name is
guitarist.
Yeah, but let's say At the Gates because I go way back with At the Gates and I've been a fan for a very long time.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it would be that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question to wrap up. You'll be going to Europe after this tour with Amon Amarth, but have songs started coming together for the next album?
Started slowly working on it, yes. We're going to basically take all of 2020 off to write the album, and I'm going to be really busy myself with my solo album. So yeah, it's underway. There's always riffs going around and being shared, so it's a constant process.
Are you involved in the writing for this one?
I would really like to be. I would really
That's
like
up
to
to
be.
Michael, right?
It is, like Nevermore was my band,
Yeah.
Arch Enemy's his band.
Different styles.
Different styles, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I have been in the band now for 5 years, and I'd really like to, submit a few riffs at least. I was fortunate enough to play solos on the last album.
Yep.
Maybe move it up a little notch or so.
Yeah,
for the next one.
hopefully, yeah.
So,
All right, so Jeff, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any closing words to the fine people watching?
To the lovely people of Toronto, we're going to shred tonight and kick ass for you. Thanks so much for showing up, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you. So, if this tour is hitting your city, be sure to catch it. Like, how cool can this get? Amon Amarth, Arch Enemy, At the Gates, and Grand Megas. Check that out. Look for Jeff's solo album to come in the near future, and look for the new Arch Enemy album to come whenever. I'm Alex. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.